Streets and Scholars, Alex Alonso and FG here to bring you guys another banger. And I'm with the Eastside General, Frank Thornton, aka the General, aka FG. Our Lakers lost, man.
Man, damn. Yeah, they got swept too. I wasn't expecting that at all. They got swept, Alex. I mean, I at least thought they was going to win 2 or 3. Just to be honest with you, I thought it was going to go all 7. I know everybody was yelling Lakers in 6, but I knew Denver was a good team. But I at least thought it was going to go to Game 7, man.
Man, it was a little embarrassing because I think
no doubt
the Lakers were kind of in it for almost all the games. I would say the third game in Denver, it was a really tough one. But shoot, the first 2 games. The third game in LA, they did terrible. It was somewhat close, but the first 2 games in Denver, they could have had it. And did they lose by 2 points in the Game 4?
One of them they lost by 2, bro. In Game 4, they lost by 2, and then I think in Game 2, they only lost by 4 or 6 or something. So I mean, it wasn't like they wasn't in reach. It wasn't like they wasn't right there, you know. So, but like I say, for them not to be able to pull it off, for them not to be able to win one game, you know, I was disappointed. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was happy to see them make them that far, go that far just based on, at the beginning of the season, we started off slow and, trying to put some pieces together. But also, once you get that far, though, and once you get that close, you know what I mean? Sometimes, it's a matter of that's where the heart come out. That's where the true grit come out, and they didn't display that.
Yeah, I think LeBron was also chucking up too many 3-pointers, even though he did make a couple of them. But shoot, in all those close games, the difference would have been just layups and 2-pointers.
No doubt, but like I say, sometimes, a player try to bite off more than they could chew. Sometimes, you can have a great game, one game, and then the next game, not so great. So sometime as a superstar, you got to find out who got the hot hand tonight. You feel me? So it may not be you, it may not be AD, but you got to figure out who got the hot hand and you got to feed them the ball. No ego involved. We trying to win a basketball game, So never forget when Jordan, it was 3 seconds left or something, man, and they knew Jordan was going to get the ball and shoot it. He told Steve Kerr, man, look, I'm going to pass you the rock. Steve Kerr was like, huh? He was, man, hey, I'm going to shoot it to you. And Steve Kerr sunk that thing, So sometimes, you got to take that ego off and get the man with the hot hand the ball. So, they dropped the ball on that, Alex. I was disappointed. Like I say, we didn't win 2 or nothing, but I think it's time to reestablish our roster over there at the Lakers.
I mean, they just need like a defensive presence because the Lakers are scoring like 110 points, 115 points, but they just letting the opposition, these Nuggets be scoring 120, 118, 125. So they need a defense. If they had a Draymond Green type of dude,
right,
it'll be lights out.
No doubt, and that's something that they had to take into consideration. Defense win championships, letting another team score, 104 points plus, all that 125, all that 118, that shows lack of defense. So they're definitely going to do something on the defensive side of the ball. Like I say, me personally, I'm not happy with the roster, period. So I'm going to see what they're going to do, man. I'm going to see what this dude LeBron going to do, if he's going to try to stick around, if he's going to go on, get out the way or what. But we'll definitely see.
Hey, I don't think the roster's that bad. It's just that they're not playing that defense. I think in game 1 or 2, the Nuggets scored damn near 70 points or something by halftime.
Well, see, that's my point. Yeah, that's my point. When I say not happy with the roster, it ain't like I don't like the players or nothing like that. At the same time, though, you still have to have those dudes on the roster, those lockdown defensive dudes, those dudes with that true grit on defense, willing to take that charge, willing to, make that foul at the right time, but don't take nothing from the Denver Nuggets. Them dudes do have a good team over there.
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna go all the way. Are they playing Boston or the Miami Heat?
You know what? I think the Heat got out on them. So I thought I was gonna see a Lakers Celtics championship for the 100th time, actually, but no, it's not going that way. So I think Miami on their ass over there, though, to be honest with you.
All right, man. That's a disappointment, man. I haven't felt like that for the Lakers since they lost to Detroit in the finals, 4-1 back in 2004 or five. They
Was
lost
it?
4-1 against Detroit, a team that had no stars.
Right,
Detroit,
right, right.
unless you think Chauncey Billups was a star.
No, Chauncey Billups was a decent player, though. To be
Yeah,
honest with you, I like Chauncey. I mean, I didn't care for him like that, but you know, I remember he was around. I liked his heart. You know what I mean? He tried to help lead his team. You know, I remember that. I remember that Detroit team.
I remember. Let's see, Tayshaun Prince, the dude with the long arms,
Yeah, he
and then
came out of Dominguez High in Compton. But yeah, I remember exactly.
Ben Wallace was their defensive stopper right there.
Ben
So
Wallace was balling though back then. You know what I mean? And he was another Draymond Green type player. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You know, so I get what you're saying about sometimes you got to have that dude that's willing to step up where you know not to even come up in there with that shit. You know what I mean? So that was the difference. You know, dudes know not don't even go up in there with that because he gonna holler at you. You know, so some of those players, um, like that. Me personally, just me, Alex. I want to see them all go. I want to see LeBron out of there. I want to see Anthony
Damn.
Davis out of there. I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. You know, I've never been a LeBron fan. Not that I'm a LeBron hater, though. You know, but I just think he in our way. Just you know, I just think he need to get up out of there. Just to be honest with you, go and retire. You know, let this fresh blood come through. You know, let's rebuild this team and you know, like you said, don't have to be superstars in order to win a championship. Just get it done, you know.
Yeah, I can't even forget to mention Rasheed Wallace on that team. I don't
Damn,
think,
he was on that team. Yeah,
but
yeah.
but I don't really think they none of these guys were like true stars, like elite. Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups. I don't know if we would call any of them stars. I just think they all came together and just balled out, and they dusted the Lakers. Now, tell
No
me the
doubt.
Lakers. Look, I'm gonna tell you the Laker roster: Kobe Bryant, Gary Payton, Karl Malone. They
Hmm.
dusted. They even though Malone and Payton was a little bit older, but they
Yeah,
dusted
yeah.
them. They dusted them.
No doubt, but like you say, you mentioned Wallace, man. Rasheed Wallace wasn't no joke either. They had that 1-2 punch over there. So when you even one come out, you know, or when you put both of them in at the same time, man, you know, you wasn't running up in there. So, like I say, with Anthony Davis and the dudes that we got, you can run up and go make layups all day long on these dudes. You know what I mean? So they'll let you run right past them. They won't foul you. They ain't gonna put the hammer on you. You know, they're not gonna make you respect that the inside paint. You know, so. Like I say, I just think they all need to get out. Anthony Davis stay hurt. You know what I mean? LeBron need to retire. Hey, let's clean house, man. And, you know, keep a few of them, but let's clean house, man, and bring some other dudes in there.
Yeah, maybe being a 7th seed hurt them because they didn't have the home court advantage. They had to start in Denver, and they just was it seemed like they was just playing uphill the whole time, man. So, all right, man. Since we talking about the Lakers, man, I wanted to talk about this LA story where Jay-Z and Beyonce, they just bought the most expensive house in California history, man. And they they got a deal on it too. They
Right,
paid
right, right.
what $200 million they paid on a house that it was listed for 295 million. And here's a picture of it right here. It looks like an amazing crib. And let me see here. I believe this crib is 30,000 square feet. FG. I mean, there's a small family of what? I think they got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Do you need 30,000 square feet to live in? I'm just
Man,
asking.
no, you absolutely right, and that's definitely, man. You're gonna have a slew of housekeepers to keep it, you know, man. But it's right on the ocean. It's very beautiful. You know, they already own $100 million mansion over there in Bel Air. You know, but people could say this ridiculous. People could say what they want about it. It is a very beautiful home, but I believe that when you got that kind of bread, sometimes you got to spend it, Alex, so you won't get, you know, you either gonna give it up in taxes or you gonna spend it. You know, you're gonna purchase something. You know, and sometimes in order to not be taxed so heavy, you have to, you know, spend the money or invest the money. They could be looking at this, like you say, you know, their home, but it's also an investment, you know, and you know, and that's how the rich people kind of shelter their money from getting taxed so hard. But so I'm not mad at them or any. Plus, if you got it, they do your thing. But that's a beautiful pad, man.
And you know, Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, or definitely in the United States, he lives in a house that he bought like 30 years ago. It's like a modest house, ain't nothing fancy about it. It's the dude, it's one of the richest dudes on earth, man. And I always hesitate when I see brothers that came from the mud and buy houses like this, because we've seen it happen to Mike Tyson, we've seen it happen to Evander Holyfield. It's just a squandering of money unnecessarily, I believe.
See, I don't. I believe it's, you know, I'm not going to call it, say, if not the word investment, you know, one thing about a piece of property is it can always be sold, you know, and just like Mike Tyson and just like the rest of them dudes, when they got into a jam, they sold those properties, you know, so it's not like they buying a car that's going to depreciate, you know, in 5 years. It's not like they buying, you know, something that can deteriorate in over the years. Yeah, you can lose value on this, but I mean, it's never going to go down that much. So if they ever, I believe they ever, you know, came into a jam, I mean, you know, even if you sold it for 150 million, you know, that's 150 million dollars, you know, that we all can live off of, where our grandkids can live off of for the rest of our lives. So I don't look at it like that. But what I am looking at is that grass, man. It look like it's gonna cost about $10,000 a week just to cut the grass, man. That's a hell of a yard out there. And if that's grass, yeah.
Imagine what the property taxes on that house, and at least they bought it outright, so there's no mortgage. I believe Evander Holyfield foreclosed on his mansion down there in Georgia. I don't recall what happened with Mike Tyson's, but I know 50 Cent ended up buying that house.
Yeah.
But well, shout out to Jay-Z and Beyonce for buying the most expensive house in the history of California. $200 million.
200 million, man.
The property tax on that is going to be crazy, but I think they're in a different position financially. I don't see Jay-Z making the same mistakes that athletes like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield and many others have made in the past. So
no doubt, you know,
he's a bit smarter, right?
No doubt, you know. Mike Tyson needed more, you know, financial help, you know, on the literacy side, you know. Some people, like you say, you know, like MC Hammer, you know, made all that money and then, you know, squandered it off, you know, buying limos and, you know, having the bros fly everywhere with him 30, 40 deep, you know what I mean? Those are irresponsible financial mistakes, man, that a dude didn't realize that wasn't a lot of money. You know, people think, you know, okay, I got 5 million, I got 10 million. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to have it, but it's not a lot of money. You know, a lot of people out here be like, man, if I won 5 million, man, I'll go buy me a $2.5 million house. See, that's the wrong idea. You done already, you know, got rid of half of your earnings, you know, or half of your money, you know. So, me personally, I'm like you know, if I won a few mil right now, I mean, I wouldn't move, you know, I wouldn't move. I'd be stay right here, you know, because that's not a lot of money, you know. But at the end of the day, Alex, yeah, I think Jay-Z a little smarter, you know, got his, you know, a lot of investments that's on and up and, you know, getting bread. So I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he'll be fine, especially since he bought it all cash. And he got $95 million discount on the house too. So
yeah, that's wild. They
wanted basically $300 million for this house, and he got
no doubt. I was even thinking though about the agent. You know, the agent, even if he only got 1%, you know, 1% of 200 million, man. I mean, that dude cleaned up himself. You know, just on the sale. You know, just on the deal. You know.
Oh yeah, the agent. Usually there's going to be two agents, one for the
right,
buyer,
from
one
each
for the
side.
seller.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they did the typical. They split the 6%.
Yeah, usually be 6 and they split it, but sometimes, you know, they'll knock it down. But yeah, it's usually 3% a piece. So if they got that, man, 3% of 200 million, you know,
that's over $1 million or something, right?
Oh no doubt. Hell yeah.
Just for selling the house.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see if I can calculate that. $12 million, man. $12 million, 6%. So you're pretty much set just for selling that house.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on to I wanted to talk about the Banko Brown situation. I know you felt like dude should have got charged, And I was like, dang, homeboy was in the middle of committing a crime.
Yeah, but let me
So
reiterate though, Alice. I don't think dude should have got charged. I think he shouldn't have shot the dude.
okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of tiptoeing there, then, right?
Yeah.
In essence, it was wrong what the security guard did. Mark Wayne, the guard there. Hey, did you hear that the security guard company severed their relationship with Walgreens?
Oh, is that right?
Don't know why. And also, there was a memo that went out to the security guards to be more proactive with stopping shoplifting. Some
I did hear that.
Yeah, some stores tell the guards, don't do anything. We have a hands-off policy. Let them go. So he was just doing his job, stopping the shoplifter. And just recently, the father spoke out about what happened, and I'm going to play this quick clip for you real quick. Let me just cue this clip up. This is Banko Brown's father, and we all know what the family's going to feel about this situation. And here we go.
But for Banko's family, it was a loss they felt deeply in two ways. First, that they would never see Banko again. And second, it felt like their family would never see justice either after the DA decided not to charge the guard who shot Banko. This video of Brown.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right there because we all saw that. If anybody wants to tap in with that, go check out Streets and Scholars episode from last week. We went into detail. I'm just gonna go to the part where the father of Banko Brown expresses how he feels about the situation. Here we go.
His little listen. It's the interview Terry Brown did not want to do. Reliving moments that came the day a Walgreens security guard fired a fatal shot as Banko Brown backed out of the store.
Just getting that news that morning, that on the 28th, that Friday morning, just changed my whole world. The examiner called me, told me that they had my daughter, China Brown.
Brown was dead. Terry Brown learning death did not come before Banko was able to tell police where to find him.
She said her name, told the police her name, and gave me your phone number. So I knew it was her. And I just broke down. And it was just the worst day of my life to hear that. I was screaming, yelling, no, this can't be true. And it took like about 20 to 25 minutes for me to recover.
Brown waited days as leaders and activists demanded District Attorney Brooke Jenkins release the surveillance video. When Jenkins relented and released, the images of Banko Brown and what appears to be a chokehold before the fatal shot went viral.
Have you seen the surveillance video?
No.
Tell me why you've chosen not to see it.
Because I don't want that memory in my head. Well, he did her wrong. He did her wrong. Like they said, he was choking her, throwing her around like a rag dog. They said the way the video is, like an old lynching or something. Like he beat her, then shot her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still like, I don't understand it.
If you had that power, where would you hit pause? Where would you hit stop? And what would you say?
Right at this door. Right at the door. Like right when he right there like that, stop.
Terry Brown knows of the criticisms about Banko and the problems of theft plaguing the Bay Area. Grab and run crime is real where we live. But he says,
that was too far. That went too far. You're using force over snacks? Something that's not even $10? You using deadly force? No, I don't support that. Little kid.
All right, we'll stop it right there. I think the dad makes a very strong point right there at the end that this is only about a few dollars worth of stolen merchandise. Even though the city has acknowledged they have a tremendous problem with shoplifting and that something needs to be done, but definitely this security guard should not have killed him, according to most people. What's your whole reaction to the father?
My reaction to the father was, I felt this pain, man. I felt, do you understand? Only thing I didn't agree with him on was talking about it felt like an old school lynching. I don't think that had anything to do with, like, that analogy didn't have nothing to do with what went on here, But other than that, I do understand what he's saying. I do feel him, I feel his pain, man. And unfortunately, I got some homies who done shit like, committed a crime and then lost their life while they were committing the crime, man, and it's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? Sometimes this shit happens. I didn't think, like I say, I still stand on, I don't think he should have shot him over, $15, $20 worth of goodies, but at the same time, or I'm gonna go say what he said, the father said, shoot her, China Brown, over $15, $20 worth of goodies. That's the, only where I'm standing. I'm not saying the security guard right or wrong or nothing like that. I'm just saying he shouldn't have shot him over that, so. But definitely, man, it's tragic, bro. You lost a life. You lost a black life. Somebody that could have went on and did some, came to the age where, I think we all did crazy shit in our days, and you don't think you're going to, when you think of doing something criminalistic, you think stealing something will never cost you your life, Alex. But in this case, it did.
Shoot, I think most of the time when you're stealing something from anywhere, it's risk. I remember being as a teenager, I had friends that used to go steal cars, and I'd be like, man, this is crazy. What if the car owner comes out? The car owner gonna come out.
Hell
and
yeah, they gonna
air
come
us
out
all
blast
out.
your ass. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So I, as a 15-year-old, I was like, oh hell no, I ain't stealing. I'm not going in that driveway and stealing that dude's car. Y'all crazy.
Yeah, real shit. But, not to get off topic, but 27 minutes ago, I see on my phone, Tina Turner died in Switzerland at 83, bro.
Damn, Tina Turner.
Man, what's love got to do with it, man? Tina Turner was definitely an icon in our generation. Rest in peace, Tina Turner.
Anime.
Man, no doubt. But but yeah, no, it's definitely, like you say, when you go commit crimes, man, it ain't no guarantee that you're gonna come up out of it, even for the smallest ones. I just believe it, at this age, yeah, at a younger age, man, I would have wanted to blast you for trying to steal some out of my trash can just based on you shouldn't have been doing it. That's mine. Leave it alone. But when you get, older and get, to understand this shit, you know what I mean? Some of the shit ain't worth, knocking a person down for, so even if the security guard don't get charged, man, it's still going to be a tragic situation on the Banko Brown side, because they lost a loved one.
But you could argue that the security guard didn't specifically kill Banko Brown because of the shoplifting. He shot and killed him or her, because of the physical altercation that they had as a result of Banko Brown not relinquishing the stolen items, even though, I'm kind of being very specific, but it was beyond the shoplifting. Now it's a confrontation. Now it's physical. Now it's you're not complying, as the police would say. Now you're trying to challenge the authority of the store. And that's why I think Banko Brown got shot and killed.
Yeah, I ain't buying none of that. Dude had already, showed it his dominance over Banko, physical dominance. I don't believe he felt he was in no danger. I believe, like you say, from the actions, he may have actually really got, spit on and called a bitch or some things of that nature. And he emotionally, to me, he did it out of emotions, not out of necessity. But, of course, that's just my opinion on it.
All right. Apparently, the state attorney general is going to investigate this case now because of the I guess the outcry there and the criticism to the attorney general, or not the attorney general, but the DA of San Francisco. I'm going to play this clip of this attorney, the story about the attorney general investigating this case a little bit more thoroughly. Here we go.
Death of Banko Brown. He says he will review if there was an abuse of discretion when San Francisco's district attorney declined to file charges in that case. KTVU's Jana Katsuyama joins us now. And Jana, you heard from Brown's mother today.
Yes, Julie. We met outside City Hall. Brown's mom, Kevinisha Henderson, said that Bonta's decision to review the evidence gives her hope. She also shared some very personal and emotional details of Brown's life and their family's struggles. About 100 people turned out for a rally tonight calling for the legal review and compassion.
On the steps in front of San Francisco City Hall, family, friends, and supporters of Banko Brown called out for help Tuesday night.
You're going to seem like nobody's listening, but eventually in due time, somebody will hear us and somebody will give us justice.
Brown's former partner joined with family carrying signs, photos, and writing messages of love for Brown, a 24-year-old trans man who died after being shot at a Walgreens store by a security guard who said Brown was shoplifting. Brown's mother was at the rally, calling her child by his birth name, China.
China meant everything to me. China was, for a long time, my best friend. She was my everything. She had been through a lot because of my struggles, and I've been in recovery for 5 years.
Kevanisha Henderson shared the hard life Brown had faced growing up. Henderson says Brown and his twin brother had been homeless in Sacramento and the Bay Area since they ran away at age 13, while Henderson struggled in recovery from addiction. She says she was close to her child and embraced Brown's identity.
She was very secure in herself and who she was, and I love that the most about her.
During the rally, Henderson received a phone call from the family's attorney saying the Attorney General had agreed to review evidence in the case. Henderson says that gives her hope after the district attorney, Brooke Jenkins, said there wasn't evidence to prosecute the guard.
That video was very hard to watch, and I don't understand how she doesn't see a reason to prosecute.
The family's attorney, John Burris, had this to say.
Attorney General has to look at it, determine was there abuse of discretion. We believe that there was, largely because there was sufficient evidence to justify prosecution.
And Burris says his office plans to file a wrongful death lawsuit on Friday against Walgreens, the security company, and the guard.
All right. So it looks like they're going to reinvestigate this case, and maybe all of the people that were disagreeing with me about the Banko Brown situation will get what they want. We'll see. But we know for a fact that Walgreens is going to write this family a check. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, that's possible. You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it happened. What happened, you know, because don't get me wrong, Banko could have easily just threw the shit on the ground and walked out, and they probably would even let her go without even charging her. You know, you'd have just dropped the shit and pushed. Probably wouldn't even got charged or nothing like that. Live to see another day, live to go steal out another store successfully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's so many different dynamics, you know, so it basically gonna boil down to how much pressure they can put on the Attorney General. If it's not much, then, you know, the security guard stay free, you know, be working at another store, you know, shortly, you know, so, you know, but anytime somebody lose a family member, Alex, you know, they always want justice, and they always want, you know, something to be done, when sometimes, you know, that's just not the reality of it.
Well, that last news clip gives us a little glimpse, a little context into what was going on in Banko, aka China's life. It seems like at least her mom was on drugs,
right?
And we don't know what role the father played. But if she's running away from home at a very young age, you know, unfortunately, the parents didn't do their job in raising their daughter China correctly.
No doubt. And then that's probably where the stealing come from. She probably had to steal at a young age to feed her little brother, because, you know, I did hear him mention that her and her little brother ran away from home, like you said, at a young age. So if she had to steal to eat, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I respect that all the way around, just 100, you know. And DMX said it best. He said, "Thou shalt not kill, but I will to eat." You know what I mean? And before a person starve, Alex, they gonna do what they got to do, bro, to feed themselves. So China may not be, or Banko may not have been in this situation at this part of his life, but once you do shit so long, sometimes you just don't stop. You know what I mean? So, you know, hey man, you know.
Yeah, shoplifting is so easy in the state of California. They didn't really enforce it, and you know, and it's just out of control, man. I see it all the time, you know. But I told my kids the other day, we were talking about this story, and I said, look, man, if you see some shoplifters in the store, just mind your business. Let them go about their way. Don't try to be no a hero and
Crime Stopper and shit. Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah,
let them do their thing, because we're starting to see a lot of customers are intervening and trying to stop shoplifters. And if that's what they want to do, that's fine. Get shot, get stabbed because you want to stop somebody from stealing something out the store. But at the same time, though, I feel the frustration of the people, of the public. And man, San Francisco's out of control. They got an area called the Tenderloin.
Yeah,
man, you would think that this multi-billion-dollar city would have their shit together, but their homelessness problem is out of control, and just their crime is out of control. And they're a small town. San Francisco is a small city, so I guess people are just frustrated and upset at what's going on to San Francisco. And this is it's coming to a point right now where something needs to be done, and maybe this Banko Brown situation will bring the politicians or bring them to a table to discuss the issues in their city, because people are pissed, man.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. We'll see.
All right, man. Your boy Fat Boy is gonna get out of jail in 2 years, man. How is that possible, FG? He gonna be out of prison in 2 years.
Hey, man, he got up there and did his song and dance, man, and even the judge was, feeling that he was remorseful and shit, you know what I mean? And like I said, he rolled over on everybody. Everybody got a life sentence. The one thing I believe why he got the sentence that he got is because, he jumped on it early. He jumped on the red train early. You know what I mean? He started singing like a bird, immediately. He basically sealed the deal on this case for him, even though that they had video. But yeah, he got 7 years with credit for 5, man. And even the district attorney stated that, they didn't want him to get, the defense attorneys stated that they felt that he should get immediate release, basically, because if he go to prison, somebody might try to kill him. But, he did his thing, man, and shit, he gonna be free. 2 years.
I'm sure Florida got their own versions of prison yards for people like, and for those who don't know, if you guys haven't been tapped in the Streets and Scholars, we've been talking about the XXXtentacion killing a few episodes back, a few times while we were covering the trial. And Robert Allen, that's who Fat Boy is. Robert Allen, aka Fat Boy, he's the one that testified against the other 3, even though I consider him an equal participant. He was on the Instagram showing the money, smiling, laughing, dancing, celebrating, spending the money. But he gets out of prison in 2 years while the other 3 dudes got life without. I'm just not feeling it, man.
Hey, no, but this is the thing about it. I don't feel it either. You already know that. But what I can say, you know what I mean, is people gonna take 2 things from this. One set of people are gonna take, man, watch who you doing crimes with if you are out there doing crimes, or don't do crimes at all based on because this gonna be one of y'all homeboys. Then you got the other side that's gonna think, well, shit, maybe if I tell first, you know what I mean, I could get the 7 years like Fat Boy did. Unfortunately, these cases are different, man. And sometimes even the dude to tell still get 20 years. Even he had the judge convinced because the judge was even like, he felt the dude was remorseful. But at the same time, what I believe that the prosecutors felt that they really probably believed that he was scared and got in on a situation that was over his head, and that's probably why they even target him to start snitching anyway. But he came through for him, man, and ratted on everybody, told everything.
He sure did. But I don't believe he was as scared as he claims, because after the whole crime was over, we see him on social media celebrating with all the other dudes. So
yeah, you're right.
He didn't have to do that. And let me play this clip out of Florida. This is Local 10 News down there in Miami. Let me go put the volume.
4th suspect in the robbery and murder of rapper XXXtentacion, who confessed to his role and implicated the other 3 who were convicted. Local 10's Sanela Sabovic is live to explain the sentence he received today. Sanela.
Nicole, Robert Allen addressed the court saying that he was sorry, that he wanted to make his wrongs right, and that is why he testified against the 3 other defendants. Now, the judge, he did say that Allen was remorseful. He handed down a 7-year prison sentence with credit for time served. That'll be followed by 20 years of probation.
Please forgive me. I'm so sorry.
Robert Allen, the fourth man involved in rapper XXXtentacion's murder and robbery, spoke during his sentencing hearing Wednesday, saying he was sorry while asking the judge to spare his life.
Today I plead to the court for my own life and not to be sent to state prison because that would be a death sentence.
Last summer, Allen pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and testified for the state. Judge Michael Usen saying he's thought long and hard about Allen's sentence.
I do believe you are not the same person who I arraigned 5 years ago. I genuinely believe that you are sorry for what you have done and not merely sorry for yourself.
He ultimately did give him prison time, despite lawyers arguing that if Allen, as a former gang member who snitched on other gang members, is locked up, other inmates from the same gang would kill him. The judge did, however, take into account Allen's testimony in this case.
So on counts 1 and 2, this court will find you guilty, adjudicate you to be guilty, sentence you to 7 years in Florida State Prison.
There's nothing to be happy about in this kind of a case, but you know, he did the right thing, and I think the court did the right thing. Gives him an opportunity to have a life.
Allen's sentencing comes a month after 3 other men, Trayvon Newsome, Michael Boatwright, and Deitrich Williams, were found guilty of murdering and robbing XXXtentacion back in 2018, right as he was leaving Riva Motorsport in Deerfield Beach. The trio was sentenced to life in prison. The rapper's mother and family members were also in court today and were told that they are in agreement with the judge's sentence.
Okay, there we go. Fat Boy is going to be coming home in 2 years. And I believe he duped the judge. The judge said, you are not the same person that I arraigned 5 years ago. Well, none of them were the same person 5 years ago.
No, no doubt, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like you say, you know, he got him to be remorseful. You know, he got him to understand that, you know, he got the judge to understand that, you know, man, I put my life on the line, you know, for this, you know, and that's just what it is. You know, he got to go, you know, look himself in the mirror and understand what he did, understand that he can never fix this. He can never overturn it. You know, he took it on the chin like the rest of them, because when you go do any type of crime as a group, this is what's expected of you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I do believe that Michael Boatwright didn't have to shoot, you know, XXX, you know, I do believe that 100%. They already had the money. They already had what they needed. They could have just let him roll, and XXX probably would have just took the L. You know what I mean? And so all the way around, you know, it was a shitty situation. But anytime you go put in some work or go commit a crime with some people, Alex, you always got to be expecting the worst can happen. You know what I mean? So either don't go or be ready to take that L, you know, and Fat Boy wasn't ready to take that L, and he rolled over, man, you know, and that's what the new generation is doing. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, snitching been going on 100 years, but at the same time, you know, I believe that right now it's at an all-time high, man, and this new generation just believes that that's the way to go, you know, in order to, you know, they just wholeheartedly believe that, you know what I mean, you know, nothing's going to happen if I snitch, so why not? You know, so unfortunately, like I say, the other dude's got a life sentence. This dude will be out in a couple of years, you know, eating cheeseburgers again.
Yeah, I think we'll find Robert Allen, Fat Boy, back in prison because they gave him a 20-year probation. And if he really didn't change and he thinks he can go out there and do something again, I think they're going to violate his ass. He's got to stay on the straight and narrow, and I'm not convinced.
I'm convinced he will. You know, he done already let the world know he's a rat. You know, they aired him out on every broadcast, every TV show, every, you know, social media channel that this dude is right now. He's King Rat right now. You know, the leader of the rats right now. You know, and so where can he go and what can he do to where he's gonna be just running around the streets like that, committing crimes? I believe this dude will go to a small town somewhere, get him a job, you know, and live the rest of his life out, you know, thankful that he not in prison doing a life with his boys. That's just what I believe.
What if this guy jumps on the internet, jumps on social media and starts giving interviews? Because, you know, everybody would want to interview him if he was offering to tell his story. You would see him on Vlad for sure. I'm sure DJ Academics would love to interview him, and he'll be like sitting there with 6ix9ine laughing it up.
No, no doubt, no doubt. You know what I mean? That's highly possible. You know, just based on how his probation set up, and if you know, he's able to do that. I mean, he just might. You know, but at the same time, the sad part about it is, if this guy got on social media and did an interview, unfortunately, Alex is due to do 1 million views. You know what I mean? Even as a rat, he'll do 1 million views, bro. And that's what this shit then came down to. You know what I mean? You know, solid brother ain't shit no more. You know what I mean? You got to have some scandal to your name in order to, you know, get views and shit. But at the same time, man, I believe he gonna go sit his ass down somewhere.
Yeah, not only would he get 1 million views, but whoever decides to interview him won't even really be judged or criticized, you know, because it's just content now.
No doubt, you know, and usually some people I know to this day just won't have dude even on their channel, but it'll be 1 million, you know, personalities ready to line up, man, and sit down with the dude, you know. So like I say, unfortunately, that's what it's come to, because I believe a rat shouldn't even get an interview. You know, he shouldn't even get the opportunity to, you know, be on a platform to tell his rat story. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, you know, it's messed up how this shit is today.
Wouldn't that be something if they got like Sammy the Bull, they got 6ix9ine, they got Fat Boy Robert Allen, like they got all the famous, you know, recent rats that are on YouTube and brought them all together to have a round table. Man, that would do 5 million views, man.
No doubt, but let me just tell you what the difference was with to me, all these dudes that you named, they are rats, no doubt. But Sammy the Bull was a cold killer. Sammy the Bull was a hit man who was really out there bodying fools. You know what I mean? These other dudes, bro, are just some rats. You know what I mean? They're just told. You know what I mean? Sammy the Bull, man, was actually a dude who really got the resume under his belt. You know, he's still a rat, but got the resume under his belt, homie. Well, this dude was a cold killer. You know, so for people to sit down and watch, basically what I'm saying is for people to sit down and watch an interview that Sammy the Bull did, you know, I mean, I could understand the part that they want to hear, you know, from a mass murderer. They want to hear from a hitman. They want to hear from a killer, even though he, you know, the rest of these dudes are just rats. You know what I mean? And nothing to them about them, you know. So, but yeah, if they said that you made that round table, or somebody set that round table up for them to sit down, hell yeah, to do like you say, 5 million views, man.
Yeah, but one thing that Sammy the Bull's doing, which I don't really approve of, is he's actually telling stories of the specific hits that he did, and he's kind of like bringing back old memories and old hurt feelings and old whatever from the people who were related to these victims. I believe he's admitted to 17 or 19 homicides. So when he goes on his YouTube channel, you know, one episode will be like, let me tell you about the time I killed Jimmy Boomba. Let me tell you the reasons why and why it went down. So he kind of exploiting his 19 homicides, and it's a little surprising that you can get away with that.
Yeah. No doubt.
He's, you know, he's guilty. You know, some of your conditions of being a prisoner or a convicted felon is that you cannot benefit from your crimes. You cannot take advantage of your crimes. You can't write books. But for some reason, Sammy the Bull's able to do it. So I don't understand how that's possible, and how the feds didn't have a stipulation saying you can't go on the internet and exploit all these victims.
Well, they probably didn't have those clauses back then when they gave him the deal, you know, and not to mention, man, they wanted John Gotti so bad, you know. John Gotti did put him in a fucked up situation, but nonetheless, you know, like I say, man, he gave them all the info they needed to bury John. When we know in this game, you know, sometimes shit don't go right, and you just got to take the hit, you know, right or wrong, you got to take the hit, you know. But yeah, maybe they didn't have those stipulations back then. You know, that's why I say Fat Boy conditions may be different. You know, his parole officer may, you know, have some different, you know, stipulations in it where you can't do interviews, or you can't discuss this matter, or you can't do certain shit and receive compensation from it. So, you know, that'll be something new that they would write. But probably back then when Sammy got knocked up, they didn't have none of those stipulations. So he's able to do it, you know. Plus, if he went on record and stated all these murders that he did, then it's really public record. It's really public knowledge. But I do get what you're saying about the victims, their families, things of that nature. But at the same time, Alex, I already know when it comes to this social media, when it comes to this TV, when it comes to, people want to hear that shit. Don't nobody give a fuck about the family, how they feel or nothing. They want to hear that shit. So, that's how it is.
Hey, being a student of the federal process, have you ever heard of conditions put on different people that are released from the feds that say stuff about the internet or going on the computers or doing interviews as the conditions of your parole while the guy's still doing his 5 years paper or whatever he's got to do after release?
No doubt, but it depends on the couple that I've seen it. They had those kind of crimes where they had something to do. The internet has something to do with their case. You know what I mean? Whether they was using the internet to sell drugs or using the internet to, pimping and pandering or something like that. Where they had stipulations where they should be near a computer. You know what I mean? But don't forget that I did fall before YouTube, before Facebook, before Instagram, before all those things. So what I'm assuming now is that's where the new stipulations come in, that you can't, be entitled to these sort of things. I know when I hit the halfway house, they wanted us to have phones that didn't have internet on them. Your phone couldn't even have an internet. It had to just be a phone. You get texts and
phone, right?
Texts and calls. Yeah, when I came home, you couldn't have a phone that had the internet on it, Google and all that shit. You had to just have a phone that can dial in, dial out, and receive text. That's it. You know what I mean? So that was as recent as 2013. So now, it ain't no telling what they got going. They may not give a shit no more because social media is so rampant. You can get it anywhere, walk into any Starbucks, log in from anywhere. But at the end of the day, when I came home, Alex, and got hit that halfway house, you couldn't have a phone with internet service on it.
Now, Fat Boy could probably, I don't know what his stipulations are, but let's just say he could do whatever he wants. He could write a book about the day XXX got killed. He could do a movie about all the events that led up to XXX getting killed, and he could actually make a significant amount of money telling these stories about his role in the murder of a famous rapper. Should that be legal?
Well, that's the question right there. Should it be legal? Is it legal? I believe so. Especially if he's somebody, direct him to tell his story in a way that he's trying to put it to where he feels still feel remorseful. He's telling this story because he wanted justice. He changed his mind about how he felt, and he felt justice should be done. And entice other people to do the same. It's the way he worded and the way he put it. But at the end of the day, Alex, he can come home and make some money behind basically being a rat. So and that's unfortunate, but he can do that. Somebody will buy that book. Because somebody would want to know the inside mindset of what you was thinking. Just like we said, why did you tell, bro? What made you break down from the beginning? To me, it wasn't about you felt bad for XXX or you felt that man, you wanted to go home, homie. So that's how it was. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I was a little surprised in that clip where the family of XXX was actually they was cool with the sentence that Robert Allen got, even though he's coming home real soon. And I guess they're cool because he testified against the other three, and the other three got life without. So maybe that's what it's all about.
No doubt. We got a comment over here, Alex. Somebody asked me, FG, did you grow up knowing Keefe D or Corey? Out of the South Side. Yeah, I knew Corey for sure. C-Ray. I remember them dudes. Me and Keefe D. Keefe D was around, but we never had no interactions like that, But I know Corey and them and C-Ray.
Oh, okay. All right. Tory Lanez. Real quick. This memorandum is fresh off the press. This is a memorandum that the prosecution submitted to the court this week, and what they are asking in this memorandum is for the judge to consider additional aggravating circumstances of Tory Lanez violating Megan Thee Stallion, and specifically that Megan Thee Stallion was particularly vulnerable during the shooting, and the judge wants to consider this in his sentencing. So that was just an addition that the prosecution wants to add as an aggravating circumstance for the judge to consider when sentencing. So I feel like, based on reading this 5-page memorandum, which I'm going to put on my website, streetgangs.com. I'll put this on there for everyone to read. It sounds as if the prosecution is going for the max here, because they already could ask for 20 plus years without this additional aggravating circumstance, but they're throwing this in there. So what are they trying to do? Give them an additional 2, 3, 4, 5 more years on top of the 20 they can give them?
No doubt, but I think at the end of the day, Alice, they may see that the that not that it's looking weak, but they could see that the prosecution or the judge is looking towards not giving him that much time. So let me add this to just try to repad, the situation, in order for them to be mindful of this dude, this shooter, twice, according to what your documents say, I believe that minds are made up already. I believe the judge probably has clearly determined what he want to give this dude. But at the same time, that's a prosecutorial act, to come at the last minute, in the 12th hour and say, man, listen, man, we gonna throw this in there with it, pile this on top in order to see if we can get another couple years out of it.
Yeah. Well, he's looking at 4 years plus 3 years plus 3 years. That's 10 for the 3 felonies he was found guilty of. Those are the maxes. Those are the maxes on those. And then, of course, he's looking at the gun enhancement. The maxes on that is 6, 6, and 6, the 2 gun enhancements. And I don't know how many more years adding this aggravating circumstance is going to add to the sentence, but it is not looking good for Tory Lanez. And it looks like the prosecution will not be happy with anything less than 15 years. They're probably going for the gusto, man. We'll find out on June 13th, but I wouldn't be shocked if they say, give this bro 20 years, Your Honor.
Hey, man, it's highly possible, but at the same time, the judge took everything into consideration. I'm sure, the fact that, alcohol was used, the fact that, these are celebrities, the fact that I believe they took all these factors into consideration, man. You know what I mean? And Tory Lanez, I don't know I don't remember what his background was like, but depending on that, I think that'll be a factor. If it's not no background, to it as far as crimes is concerned, I mean, sometimes people do just make mistakes, that they won't make again or they haven't made in previously, so, but it all depends on, man, what this judge feel, what he really feel deeply on the inside about gun crimes, about rappers, about Black people, you know what I mean? So all these factors are going to come into play. Where you was at when you did it. You wasn't in the ghetto. You in our neck of the woods doing this shit. Like I said, I believe all those factors going to come into play, man. And I think that's how you going to determine how much time you going to bust him upside his head with.
Well, the judge is a Black man, Judge David Hereford. And not only is he a Black man, not only is he Black, but he's a former criminal defense attorney. So he comes from that side.
Okay. Yeah.
But a lot of people say it doesn't matter when you become a judge. A lot of these former criminal defense attorneys, they sentence like normal judges sentence. So I'm not sure if we're going to see leniency because this guy was a criminal defense attorney. In fact, I doubt it. And then also, let me ask you this, FG. Tory Lanez went on his Instagram and blamed the 2 prosecutors of being corrupt. The whole system is corrupt. And I'm not sure if that's going to have a negative impact on this sentencing, that he actually called out the prosecutors on Instagram.
Well, that's the problem that we having with today's society. Some of these people just don't know when to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? You doing, and I guess because, like we say, we didn't have Instagram at that age, but I never was an emotional dude like that where I just blast off just saying crazy shit anyway, even before then. Didn't do it then, don't do it now, but for a person, or we see these people get on Twitter, get on Instagram, and they talk about these legal situations that they in, and they talk shit about the jury, they talk shit about the DA or the prosecutor, that's a bad move all the way around. You know what I mean? To sit here and talk about misconduct or they corrupt or anything like that, bro, you shot a motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? At the end of the day, Alex, he shot a motherfucker, so don't forget that part, bro. You the gun didn't shoot itself. You didn't accidentally drop the gun and it went off and shot her. You feel me? You shot 5 times. You didn't just shoot once. You shot 5 times. So you had to take some accountability, on what you did, before you get to doing these rants. And sometimes, like you say, these rants can come back and haunt you, based on because you just wanted to, he made a lot of mistakes though. I mean, a lot of mistakes. The jail phone call. He made so many mistakes that he need to just shut up, take his time and go do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. The jail phone call was damaging evidence against his defense. Also, he sent the victim, Megan Thee Stallion, a text message after the fact. Huge mistake. Shouldn't have sent her anything. That
Huge
text
mistake.
That became an exhibit and put on the projector there for all to see. And then I'm just shocked that this Instagram rant that he did, that his attorneys would co-sign this, that his attorneys would say, yeah, go for it. Because there's no way he did this without it. He's in jail. So in order for that to happen, it's got to go through his attorneys for him to rant against the prosecutor's office. So shame on Jose Baez, who's considered one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the U.S. You gave your boy Tory Lanez some terrible advice there on going there to criticize the prosecutors as being corrupt. And we were waiting for you guys to come to that hearing and show us the evidence that it was so corrupt. And you guys came with nothing.
Right. Came with absolutely nothing. He should have played the remorseful role as well. I mean, I believe that he felt that he was entitled to just walk away from this case, and that's just not how it go, bro. You know what I mean? But I don't know if that comes with being a celebrity. I don't know if that comes with a sense of entitlement. I don't know what that comes with. But at the same time, man, like I say, when you in Cal or if they do this where you from, you know what I mean? Because I believe he from where? Canada or somewhere?
Yep.
I don't know how they do it where you from, bro, but in California, man, you got gun crime, homie, they locking your ass up. So,
I was gonna say he's lived in the United States long enough to know he's lived in New York and he's lived in Florida and I believe he's lived in Atlanta. He was born in Canada, but he's lived around the United States, so he understands, the get down in the United States of America.
No, I know he do, but I'm just giving him away. I was just throwing something out there as far as if I was going to give you that benefit of the doubt, if I was looking for an excuse for you, you know what I mean? We can use that or there any other excuse you want to use. But at the end of the day, man, gun crime in California, man, you're going down, and it don't make no sense to publicly, try to call out nobody in this case. You got to call out yourself at the end of the day. And maybe had he took that approach, he would have got lesser time, but sitting here, like you say, arguing, saying that, this didn't happen or that didn't happen or this shouldn't have happened. It did, so at the end of the day, man, like I say, I'm just wondering, what's on the judge's mind. Didn't know he was a black man, didn't know he's a former defense attorney. I mean, don't get me wrong, Alex, sometimes that shit can help, in the reality of life, man. I believe it's so many factors that go through a human being's head, that nobody's susceptible from having, personal, feelings about certain shit, so he may really feel like, man, this kid don't deserve to just get washed up. Yeah, he messed up bad, but he don't deserve to get washed up. But then again, judge can be the total opposite. I'm tired of my people, tripping on our people, so I'm finna make an example out of this. So it can go both ways.
Yeah, I don't believe Tory should be washed up. I think he just should sit down for a few years and learn a lesson. But I can understand if the prosecutors they're probably so mad at this dude for all the false accusations, for all the internet stuff he was doing. He even did an album when he did an album in 2020 called Daystar, and he's talking about the crime in the album, and he's taunting Megan Thee Stallion. So I'm sure these prosecutors, they have no sympathy for Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez. And let me just add one more thing. Eric Holder's judge, he was black, H. Clay Jack, and he's a former criminal defense attorney, and he gave Eric Holder that 60 years that the prosecution. The prosecution asked for 60, and H. Clay Jack said, "You got it. You got the 60.
You got the 60. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying it can go either way, man. And I mean, me personally, I don't believe he should be washed up based on he a young man that made a mistake. He did harm, a woman. He did shoot a woman. I don't condone that at all. You know what I mean? I always think that's some you know, that's some whole other shit. You know what I mean? If anything, you could have jumped out and slapped the dog shit out of her, even though I ain't saying that's the best route, but you wouldn't have shot her. You know what I mean? And for people who listening, you know, for me, when I sit here and say the lesser of a crime, I'm just in reality, which sometimes shit happens. Sometimes emotions going to get involved with some shit going go down. All I'm saying is, had he jumped out and fired on her, he would have been in a lot less trouble than he is by shooting her. So,
and when you say fired on her, you mean like slapped her or something?
Yeah, slapped her upside her head or something like that, you know, and smacked her, you know, and he'd be in a lot less situation, you know, and the results damn near probably would have been the same emotionally for her, you know. So at the end of the day, man, you know, we got to be mindful of what we doing, putting ourselves in certain situations, you know, to get in Tory Lanez situation, to wonder if he gonna get 6 or 26. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and earlier when we were talking about this off camera, I said that the prosecutors wrote here that he shot the victim twice, but what I didn't realize, they were actually citing a previous case where that person shot the victim twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're saying clearly that Tory Lanez shot this gun 5 times, and they were citing a case called People vs. Eads, 1979. Where they were arguing for aggravating circumstances. So I'm gonna put a link to this memorandum in the show notes, but I'll also put it on the website at streetgangs.com for anybody who wants to check it out. And I'll be in court on June 13th. June 13th, we will find out what Tory Lanez sentence is, and he's definitely going to state prison, like I had predicted before when people told me I was crazy. So there we go. All right, man. This must be finesse week, FG. This must be females coming up week, because we had 2 stories of females pretty much getting active with it. Let me see, which one should I start off with? Let's start off with the one. Let's see,
Vegas or Miami, which one we going with first?
Let me see which one I got here. They're both crazy, and let's see. Okay, we'll start off with this one right here. This one is coming to us from 8 News Now, and we got two stories of women finessing men and really trying to just get gangster with it. And you know, when I was young, I used to hear about stuff like this happening all the time. I actually happened to people I personally knew, and I used to say, "Dad, how did you fall for that, man?"
Yeah.
But I've been fortunate enough; it never happened to me. But let me run this clip real quickly, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Room at a Las Vegas Strip resort.
Tonight, the 2 women accused of killing him facing the judge now for the first time. 8 News Now reporter Victoria Saha joining us live from Caesars, where this happened, with who the victim is and the women behind bars.
Yeah, Brian and Denise, still so many questions tonight as to what led up to the shooting. But what we do know is that the man who was killed had invited the 2 women up to his room right before being shot. 20-year-old Erika Covington and Arionna Taylor both making their first appearance in court Wednesday, both with a somber look, much different from the mugshots that were taken of them just hours after their arrest. Police say 25-year-old Bryan Altamirano-Solano was found shot in a hotel room by housekeeping about 11:30 Monday morning. Police tell us so far their investigation is leading them to believe Altamirano-Solano went to his hotel room with Covington and Taylor. The 2 women later left his room with some of his personal belongings. They were arrested by the criminal apprehension team and booked into the Clark County Detention Center early Wednesday. The 2 women do remain in jail tonight without bail, and they will be back in court on Monday. Both of their family members were actually present in the courtroom, but they declined an interview. Reporting live near Caesars tonight, Victoria Saha, 8 News Now.
All right, man. First, I want to ask you, FG, have you heard of this happening when you was coming up, when you was growing up, just females out here trying just finessing and just getting active with it and having to be careful of the type of women you meet and where you go with these women?
Man, let me tell you something, Alex. From a younger FG perspective, homie, I would definitely say that these hoes is brazy, homie. Let me tell you something. I'll come up with those expectations in mind. I know homies who've been I have homegirls who done rob dudes. You know what I mean? You know why they sleep. You know, put them to sleep with the sex, and then went in their pockets. You know, and even if they ran off with a couple racks, you know, that's still a robbery, bro. You know, you still fell asleep on these hoes. They might have took your pants and shit where you can't just run out right now, and or took your car keys and hid them. You know, So I know it from both sides. You know, me coming up, you know, I always knew that I would be a target in that situation by, you know, being hood rich, you know. So I always was kind of careful, you know, about, you know, these situations. If you look at it, Alex, you know, he met these bras and took them back to his hotel. Now, the one thing about it is I wouldn't expect nobody to do no shooting inside the Caesar's Palace. They say that the housekeeper didn't find him till 11 the next morning. And I'm like, damn, nobody heard a shot. Nobody, you know. Unfortunately, though, you know, for Erika and Arionna, man, they 20 years old, Alex. You know, if they go down for murder, bro, they may never see the light of day again. You know, if they had a pistol, they could have did more like tie dude up, or, you know what I mean, where he couldn't get away for a while until they was gone, you know. But the shooting, that's wild, bro, and it may cost them the rest of their life.
Yeah, it may have they may have gotten into one of those a struggle situation where that's the shooting happened. But these chicks kind of remind me of some chicks they're working the strip in Vegas, and you know, there's so many hoes walking up and down that strip any night that you go out there, and I guess they felt that this guy Bryan Solano was an opportunity to come up off of.
No doubt, he definitely was. But my point is the killing part inside of a Caesar's Palace hotel, where you don't think at some point, you know, meet every point, but you don't think at some point that you're going to be on camera. You don't think at some point, man, that these people are going to have you on camera, run your face through every kind of database that they have criminally, or people going to call in and say who you are. They apprehended these people in no time, you know. So you shoot a dude in a hotel room at the Caesar's Palace, and you think you're going to get away with that just like that? Nah, it ain't going to happen, man. And so, but at 20 years old, I could see how dumb they may be thinking. You know, they none of the factors that I spoke on probably even crossed their mind at all.
Did you read how the Las Vegas PD caught these two girls?
I read it, but run it down to us.
They used Instagram, man.
Oh, did they? I didn't read that part. Yeah, I didn't read that part.
They was able to identify Erika Covington on an Instagram page, and this was not anything that these two girls were doing on social media that we would quote say stupid, right? It was just their accounts. So
right.
They was able to match Erika Covington's picture to her Instagram page, and then they looked at her list of friends, and then they saw, oh, Arionna Taylor, that's the other girl that we're looking for. So these two girls must be on camera in the hotel somewhere, and they matched those pictures to their Instagram page and got their full names.
Damn, homie, you know, just like that, you know, yeah. Just like that, Alex. So my point is, you know, like I say, you know, at 20 years old, I know, you know, people want to say people are grown, which legally they are. Sometimes your mind haven't developed yet to think out the whole plan, you know, and inside of a hotel, bro, you don't want to do nothing. You didn't even really want to rob this dude, even without a gun. Even if you would have, you know, gave him some coochie and he fell asleep, you know, at the end of the day, they still was going to go run those cameras. You know what I mean? And even if it was a simple robbery, you know, you still caught, you know, and at the end of the day, man, they don't be thinking out they playing good enough, you know, but this one may cost them their life is my point, you know?
Yeah. And Bryan Solano wanting to have a threesome pretty much probably cost him his life. With some strangers.
No doubt. With some strangers, man. You know what I mean? But, you know, these some young girls, you know, probably, you know, some get high, you know, type, you know. Hey, man, you know, just ain't no telling. But like I say, man, they got a murder on their hands now. And a robbery.
They only shot, I don't want to say only, but it was reported it was just one gunshot. So maybe that's one reason why no one heard it. It was just one pop. And maybe someone did hear it and say, was that a gunshot? Or maybe it wasn't, but it wasn't like, you know, multiple shots to where someone would say, oh, that's gunshots for sure.
No doubt.
That's probably why they were able to make their little getaway, and the dude wasn't found until the housekeeper came through later. But let's go to the next finesse story that we got here, because at least in this one, this chick, she kind of did it the smart way, you know, because she's not going to be going to prison for life, but she is going to catch a little bit of time when they do catch her. But let me play this clip, and then we'll talk about this one. This one's kind of funny though. Here we go. This is out, and this is a story out of Miami, and this is from WPLG Local 10. Here we go.
Miami police are looking a critical clue after a man was drugged and robbed after a night out.
We're now seeing video of the woman police are looking for. And Local 10 News reporter Rosh Lowe is live with all the expensive jewelry she allegedly got away with. Rosh.
This case is unique, and let me tell you why in this sense. This woman, say cops, got away with $600,000. That's right, $600,000 worth of Rolexes and jewelry. We've seen these cases before, but cops say they have very clear images of this woman, and they really want to catch her. It's 5:30 a.m. and into the elevator we go. This guy, who's been blurred out, has brought this woman home. Take a look at her. They met at a bar, according to police, named the Dirty Rabbit in Winwood. And then cops say this woman did him dirty to the tune of $600,000 worth of Rolexes and jewelry.
These are super, super clear images of her. We know that somebody's going to see her and either know that they were also a victim of her or that they know who she is.
Police say after having one drink with the woman at his apartment, the guy fell asleep. Cops say he wakes up at around noon to quite the surprise. His safe open, jewelry missing, and the female gone.
And she has 2 solo cups in her hand. Now, sometimes she might say, oh, well, she's just leaving with a solo cup. No, she's taking the solo cup that she drank because it has her DNA. She's taking his solo cup because it has not only his DNA, but it also has whatever drug she put in it.
She took off, but her images are there for all to see. Listen to what she took off with, according to police. A Rolex Daytona Rainbow with diamonds, Sky Dweller Rolex, gold chain, Franco gold bracelets, Cartier sunglasses, and a...
All right, we got the point, and we don't want to embarrass this victim anymore. But hey, this woman clearly put them titties to use, man, huh?
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth, man. I would say all these y'all was tits on me, and he was all in, you know what I mean? And but he should have knew, man, down at the Dirty Rabbit, man, you was gonna catch a low blow down there, man, but it's like this as well, Alex. 2 things. One thing I teach my kids. You know what I mean? Listen, man, I know y'all, 17, 18, 19, things of that nature, I know y'all don't drink, but that don't mean you ever won't. You know what I mean? Never set your cup down. I don't care if it's water. I don't care if it's juice. I don't care what it is, alcoholic beverage. When you at a party, don't set your cup down ever. And if you set it down, just, lose that money and go get a new one. Because now, we didn't worry about that coming up, to be honest with you, but now that's just some shit that they doing. They putting shit in your drink, knocking you out, robbing you, having sex with you without your consent and knowledge, you know what I mean? And this girl clearly went in there on a mission, but for him to even, how did she get the safe open? That's the whole thing about it. How did she even get the combination unless he had it per se in his wallet or,
a thumbprint safe. So she probably knocked him out.
Oh, damn.
Put his thumb on it and opened it. That's my guess.
That's nuts, man. But yeah, unfortunately, he got ripped off and robbed and shit by this chick. And hey, that's his bad. Just to be honest with you, man, that's his bad. Something we gonna do is gonna stop doing goofy shit. Stop picking these broads up from, me personally, just say if I, because it sounds like he has some bread. So me personally, Alex, if I got some bread, shit, I don't need that much bread. I'm gonna go into the room, bro. You know what I mean? I know he probably wanted to take her back to the pad and press her with the view or some shit like that. But at the end of the day, man, you don't know this lady. You know what I mean? And you just brought her all up in your house and, things of that nature, man. And these dudes just ain't thinking. I knew I grew up in the streets where that was a no-no. That was always a no-no. You got to know me 6 months or something before you come to my motherfucking house. But yeah, he went out like that. He went out.
Yes, it's going to be embarrassing for him because of the way he went out, but we also going to find out he might be into trannies too, because I was reading the description of this chick and she's like 5'10". And if you look at her, I mean, 5'10", and the way she kind of looks, I wouldn't be surprised if she's transgendered.
Well, you know what? I did take a look at that. I wasn't going to speak on it specifically, you know, and unfortunately, like I say, in our mind, we do get to judge in our mind, even though we don't speak it, you know, publicly, you know, and I did, and once you said it was a thumb safe, I started to reassess, and it's like, okay, maybe she was strong enough to drag him over there, you know, but regardless, you know, he went out, bro. He went out like a straight sucker. You know what I mean? And I know he feels stupid. You know, I'm sure he probably had insurance on this shit, but I know he feels stupid at the moment, man.
Well, at least he or she did it, I don't want to say the right way, because he's not dead. The victim is alive to live another day, and he can go get him another $600,000 watch.
No, no doubt. You know, and then like I say, man, if she not from the town, just say if she, you know, from LA or somewhere, just happened to be in Miami and ran this move, ain't nobody in Miami finna know who she is. You know what I mean? And if you don't have fingerprints off none of the stuff, because he's not dead, they not finna do a full extensive, you know, DNA, super duper fingerprints. Insurance may come back and do a fingerprint, you know, check and all, but at the end of the day, nobody's dead, nobody's hurt. You know, you did some sucker shit that police might not even have that much sympathy for you to do that. Put the money behind that investigation. So she may walk out of here scot free, man. Go to another state, pawn that shit, man. And she hit a lick, bro. She got away with it.
She sure did hit a lick, and them two girls in Vegas that hit their little lick, they're going to prison for sure for a long time. And I believe this person actually could possibly get away, especially if they're transgender. They could leave the state and change their whole look. You know, they don't even know who this person is. They asking the news, can you put this person's picture on there so we can find out who she is? They're probably on Instagram right now trying to figure out this person's Instagram page. If this person's smart, they don't have it or they disabled it, and they may have gotten away with almost over $500,000 in jewelry.
No doubt. Then at the end of the day, you know, just say if she was caught, Alex, she still got a case to fight, because she could sit there and argue that, you know, this dude said he was going to give me this stuff in exchange for sex. You know what I mean? I mean, she can legally go in there and say, hold on, I didn't rob him. He gave me this shit. Or, you know, he could say a numerous amount of things. He felt stupid after he was drunk and he gave it to me, and probably now he want to say I robbed him. So legally, she can go in there and fight a case, man. And at the end of the day, how you going to know what really transpired? You know, so that robbery could get probably knocked down to fucking anything, receiving stolen property, or just, you know what I mean? You know, so she all the way in the good, you know, compared to the mother two, you know what I mean? You know, compared to the mother two, bro.
Well, what she needs to do is cash out that jewelry. She needs to slide an attorney at least $50,000 on a retainer, just to keep your attorney there, $50,000 on retainer, and just expect that you're going to be getting arrested soon, and make sure you have some money for bail, and she should be good.
No, no doubt, you know, but like I say, you know, being that this was a theft, you know, they don't put all the resources they do at like they do a robbery. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, when you talk about rich guys and you talking about, you know, insurance is involved. You know, sometimes the police let the insurance companies do the investigating, you know, because they got real shit to go try to solve, you know. So usually, you know, dude got caught tricking, you know, got your stuff stole, man. We not even finna worry about that. We gonna let your insurance company handle it. If they want some reports or documents, we'll be happy to give them to them. But we not finna put all our resources into that. You know what I mean? So like I say, man, this girl may walk right on up out of there, man, with a nice little lick.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. All right, man. Let all the people know where they could tap in with you, man, if they want to holler.
Hey, man, tap in with me at FGeneral1 on Instagram, man. You know, and I see y'all checking out the videos on FG Unleashed, man. So, you know, rock with me over there as well, man.
Definitely. And if you guys are new to the Streets and Scholars podcast, please make sure you follow us. whether you're on Apple, iHeart, Spotify, Google, or any of the other podcast platforms. And if you're on Apple, please, if you're on Apple Podcasts, listening to us right now, leave us a rating and a review. You could even, in your review, you could ask us a question, leave a comment, appreciate it. And then we'll post some video clips of this episode. And we've got video clips of our previous episodes on the Street TV platform on YouTube. And holla at me at Alex Alonso 101 on all social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter. And thanks for tapping in with another fire episode of Streets and Scholars. All right. Hey, if you got a couple minutes, you want to answer any of these questions?
Yeah, let's see what we got over here. Let's see, man. Bam. Renegade's gone rogue.
Someone said even though this jewelry is worth $600,000, she's not even going to get that much money for it. That's a tough thing though, to get your value for some jewelry. You got in a lick. You're not going to get that much for it, huh?
Well, sometimes it all depends on who you know, Alex, and shit. Some of these, like I said, if you get on a plane and go to a different state, you know what I mean? And these people are handsomely cash you out, a nice little, it's because it's about making money. You go to the right pawn shop, man, and you go to the right person, that got it, go to some of these rappers if you're in position to know any, so I think at the end of the day, it's all depend who you know. And to me, it sounded like this wasn't her first time doing this, so she may have a line on some shit, you know what I mean, to where she may be able to, I believe if it's, I do believe they always exaggerate the amount, how much the jury was worth, but at the same time, man, I think she can go get more than 50,000. I really believe that for sure.
Yeah, definitely 50,000. I always think of you get half of what it's worth. So if she got 600,000 worth, she might be able to get, at least a couple 100,000.
But even if you got 100, that's an easy little lick for 100 racks. So, I've seen dudes take, greater chances, Look at the dudes who robbed XXX, they got 50, but they end up with a life sentence, So, like I say, I've seen people, do more for less, so even if she come out with 100 racks total, that was a cool little lick, for that situation with was nobody hurt or harmed or nothing like that,
Yeah, just embarrassed. How many people you think are so embarrassed they don't even report it? They just like take the L.
Well, you know what, a lot, but based on probably this was the amount, you know what I mean? If she'd have stole, 10 racks from him or something like that, yeah, he probably would have never reported it. Same way I still say that if they wouldn't have shot XXX, he wouldn't have reported it, So at the same time, like you say, people save themselves from the embarrassment and just don't even report it.
Yeah. What else we got here?
I see people tapping in with us though, man. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. She don't look like she got them contacts. She damn sure may not though. You know what I mean? She may go give it to her boyfriend for, 10,000. You know what I mean? So shit, you just never know,
Yeah, because she didn't know what she was going to come up on, because she didn't know that this guy had a safe unless she was following this guy and she got the information, like she got the lick, like this guy got a safe, go finesse him. So it could have just been random.
Could have been, somebody say judge said Eric Holder had got a green light on him in the pen. Do you think he gonna go through it? Man, he gonna. I don't think he gonna have as many problems as people think. But even if he do, man, it take two to tango. Unless 4 or 5 people get on him, shit, he gonna be able to handle a scandal. He know what he up against.
And first of all, the judge didn't say it was
right. I knew that. Yeah, it was
yeah.
I knew that. But yeah, I just read the comment.
Yeah, a lot of people online said that the judge said it because the camera was zoomed in on Eric when they were watching my clip, and you couldn't tell who was saying it, but that was not the judge saying he was greenlit. That was the attorney.
Well, even the defense attorney and Fat Boy himself, and the XXX case, he pled to the judge to say, "Listen, man, I might, if you give me a prison time, you send me to state prison, I might not make it home." He was adamant about that to the judge, but at the end of the day, like you say, man, they gonna send you somewhere where don't nobody want no problems. They want to go home too. you know, you gonna be all right.
Yeah, Rolexes are a different type of watch. They're a watch you can just sit on the watch, and that might be worth 700,000 next year.
No
So,
doubt, no doubt. Yeah. So we'll definitely see. But like I say, you know, sometimes, you know, people will sit on it, and that right contact come through, man, and they go get their bread.
yeah. All right, let me know when you gotta bounce up out of here.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. We got any more good ones? They say this stuff happen every single day in Vegas. You know, I kind of believe that though. You know, to be honest with you, you got so many people coming in from across the country, from around the world. You know, females may do target these people more than we think. You know, just to be honest with you, had you know, the two females in Vegas hadn't shot the guy, he probably would have never reported the shit.
Yeah, they didn't say how much money they got off of the guy in Vegas.
Probably wasn't much. Yeah.
Yeah, Tory Lanez will probably get deported after he does his time, but that's like the least of his problems right now.
Oh, no doubt.
The deportation process does not occur until after he finishes his state time. So that's many years away. And that's a whole nother, and then that's also done federally. The feds will take over the custody of him, and it's done in immigration court.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what's up, man. But yeah, Alex, man, like I say, man, I appreciate the listeners with the comments. What's that? Yeah, she cased him already. She cased him probably. Could be. She could have stumbled across it, or she could have plotted on him, you know. But if they just met in the bar, I'm sure she probably looked him up and down and could tell what type of dude he was, you know, tell he was really just a trick, just looking for some action, you know. And but I'm just wondering, you know, if this dude is married in any kind of way, you know, now you'd embarrassed yourself, you know, on national TV, what your wife think, what your kids think. You know what I mean? I could only imagine if I was somewhere and got robbed, you know, like this, and then you married, you know what I mean? Oh man, you embarrass your whole family, you know, your wife's mom see this shit, you know what I mean? You know, that guy would have to be some embarrassing shit, man.
Well, they blurred his face out on that video, but if this case ever goes to court, he gonna have to come into court and testify.
Yeah, he got to definitely do that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So no doubt, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so. Yeah, somebody said they seen me on the, they must have been on Instagram. I was on Instagram talking shit about, you know, lifting weights and shit. But yeah, now I got that Olympic iron, man, that pig iron. You can't find it no more. You know, we used to have pig iron back in the day. We used to have all quarters, Alex. Remember that? You know, the homies be in the backyard with the quarters. You can't find that shit no more. Not to mention, iron weights is expensive nowadays. Even if you're going to offer up and all that shit, man, you would think it was gold or silver or something as much as they want for this weights, man.
Did your you still got some old pig iron plates?
I got a couple, but I got the Olympic iron now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was on Instagram talking shit, you know, about these dudes be doing all these burpees and all on the treadmill every day. You know what I mean? They need to get some iron in their life, you know. But yeah. The pig iron shit, that shit's so hard to find.
I think some of it gets real rusty over time if you leave it outside.
Yeah, but you know, like you say, Anthony Brown, you more than welcome, homie, to come get it in with me, man. I like to try to stay fit a little bit. I don't go hard like I used to, but I try to stay fit a little bit.
Yeah, it's about $2 a pound now to buy weights, which is crazy.
Man, that's crazy, man. Nuts.
All right, man. I think we'll wrap it up.
All right, for sure, bro. I don't see no other comments. But yeah, man, I check you out, Alex. Everything uploaded and everything.
Yeah, I'm about to end broadcast right now. And thanks for all the questions and supporting the podcast. Streets and Scholars, we out.